Once upon a time, in the midst of religious and political divisions, the King James Version, KJV, of the Bible emerged as a monumental translation project. Join us on a captivating journey as we delve into the fascinating story of the KJV, from its origins during a time of upheaval to its lasting impact on Christianity. Explore the challenges faced by translators, the quest for accessibility, and the potential contradictions that arose during the process. Discover the enduring legacy of the KJV and its significance in shaping religious discourse. Subscribe now to embark on this enlightening exploration. During the religious and political turmoil of the 16th century, divisions between Catholics and Protestants were growing. The desire to provide accessible religious texts to the common people became paramount. King James, a prominent figure of the time, recognized the need for an English translation of the Bible, a version that would be widely understood and read by the English-speaking population. King James took the initiative to assemble a team of skilled scholars and translators who would undertake the monumental task of translating the Bible into English. Their goal was to create a version that would reflect accuracy, clarity, and promote the unification of Christians across England. However, the process of translation was not without its challenges. The original texts of the Bible were written in ancient Hebrew, Greek, and Aramaic, and as they were translated and interpreted by scribes and scholars throughout history, variations and potential contradictions arose. During the translation process, the scholars encountered differing accounts and nuances within the gospel narratives, including the resurrection accounts. The number and identities of the women who visited the tomb, as well as the sequence of events, presented variations among the gospel writers. Despite their best efforts, the translators faced the difficulty of harmonizing these differences while maintaining the integrity of the original texts. It is important to note that these variations may stem from different sources, intentions, and theological perspectives of the gospel writers themselves. The King James Version, KJV, of the Bible was published in 1611 and became one of the most influential English translations, shaping the religious landscape for centuries to come. It aimed to provide accessibility and a shared understanding of the Word of God among English-speaking Christians. While the KJV has been widely cherished and esteemed, scholars and theologians have since scrutinized its translation choices, noting potential discrepancies and contradictions within the text. However, it is crucial to approach these apparent contradictions with an understanding of the complex nature of biblical interpretation, the limitations of translation, and the cultural and historical contexts in which the texts were written. Today, the Bible continues to be a source of spiritual guidance, inspiration, and debate for millions of people worldwide. The quest to reconcile and interpret its teachings remains an ongoing endeavor, as diverse religious traditions and scholars bring forth their perspectives to shed light on the complexities of the biblical text. Here are some of the potential discrepancies and contradictions within the text. Creation accounts. The order of creation events in Genesis 1 and Genesis 2 appears to differ. In Genesis 1, plants are created before humans, while in Genesis 2, humans are created before plants. Genealogy of Jesus. The genealogies of Jesus as recorded in Matthew 1:1-17 and Luke 3:23-38 differ in the names and order of ancestors between David and Jesus. Salvation by works or faith. In James 2:24, it states, "Ye see then how that by works a man is justified, and not by faith only." This verse appears to suggest that salvation is achieved through works, contradicting the belief in salvation by faith alone, which is emphasized in other parts of the Bible, such as Ephesians 2:8-9. Time of Jesus' crucifixion. In Mark 15:25, it mentions that Jesus was crucified the third hour. However, in John 19:14-15, it states that Jesus was still before Pilate at the 6th hour on the day of his crucifixion. This apparent discrepancy raises questions about the timing of Jesus' crucifixion. David's census. In 2 Samuel 24:1, it says that the anger of the Lord was kindled against Israel, and he moved David against them to say, "Go, number Israel and Judah." However, in 1 Chronicles 21:1, it attributes the incitement for David to take the census to Satan. This difference in attribution raises a contradiction regarding who influenced David to take the census. The Sermon on the Mount. In Matthew 5:16, Jesus advises his followers to let their good works shine before others, while in Matthew 6:1, he instructs them to not perform righteous acts in front of others. This apparent contradiction raises questions about the intended audience and the manner in which good works should be expressed. The resurrection accounts. The accounts of Jesus' resurrection in the four Gospels differ in certain details, such as the number and identity of the women who visited the tomb and the sequence of events. These variations have led to discussions and debates among scholars regarding the harmonization of these accounts. Matthew's account, Matthew 28. Matthew 28:1. Mary Magdalene and the other Mary visit the tomb. Matthew 28:2-4. An earthquake occurs, an angel descends from heaven, rolls the stone away, and terrifies the guards. Matthew 28:5-7. The angel tells the women that Jesus has been resurrected and instructs them to go and tell the disciples. Matthew 28:8. The women leave the tomb with fear and joy. Matthew 28:9-10. Jesus appears to the women and confirms the angel's message. Mark's account, Mark 16. Mark 16:1-2. Mary Magdalene, Mary the mother of James, and Salome visit the tomb. Mark 16:3-4. They find the stone rolled away and enter the tomb. Mark 16:5-7. They encounter a young man dressed in white who tells them that Jesus has risen and instructs them to tell the disciples. Mark 16:8. The women flee from the tomb in fear and do not speak to anyone. Luke's account, Luke 24. Luke 24:1-3. Mary Magdalene, Joanna, Mary the mother of James, and other women visit the tomb. Luke 24:4-7. They find the stone rolled away, but the body of Jesus is not there. Two men in shining garments inform them that Jesus has risen. Luke 24:8-11. The women report the events to the disciples, but they are not believed, except for Peter. John's account, John 20. John 21. Mary Magdalene visits the tomb and finds the stone removed. John 22-4. She runs to tell Simon Peter and another disciple that the body of Jesus has been taken. John 25-10. Peter and the other disciple investigate the empty tomb and then return home. John 20:11-18. Mary encounters Jesus outside the tomb and informs the disciples of her encounter. Matthew's account, Matthew 28. Matthew's account emphasizes the earthquake and the presence of guards at the tomb, which the other Gospels do not mention. In Matthew's narrative, only two women, Mary Magdalene and the other Mary, are explicitly mentioned as visiting the tomb. The angel's appearance is described as causing fear in the guards and the women, but also bringing joy and confirmation of Jesus' resurrection. Jesus personally appears to the women and speaks to them. Mark's account, Mark 16. Mark's account mentions three women, Mary Magdalene, Mary the mother of James, and Salome, who visit the tomb. The presence of a young man dressed in white is described, but he is not explicitly identified as an angel. Mark's account ends abruptly with the women fleeing the tomb in fear, leaving the reader with a sense of wonder and mystery. Luke's account, Luke 24. Luke's account includes additional women, such as Joanna, and refers to other women who accompany them. The presence of two men in shining garments is described, who are often interpreted as angels. The disbelief of the disciples, except for Peter, upon hearing the women's report is emphasized, highlighting the initial skepticism. John's account, John 20. John's account focuses primarily on Mary Magdalene and her encounter with the risen Jesus. The running of Mary to inform Peter and another disciple adds a sense of urgency and anticipation. John includes the detail of the other disciple outrunning Peter to reach the tomb first. Mary's conversation with Jesus outside the tomb provides a personal and intimate encounter. Judas' death. In Matthew 27:5, it states that Judas hanged himself, while in Acts 1:18, it implies that Judas fell headlong and burst open. These descriptions of Judas' death appear to present contradictory explanations. Noah's Ark. Genesis 6:19-22 suggests that Noah was commanded to bring 2 of every kind of animal onto the ark, while Genesis 7:2-3 implies that he was instructed to bring 7 pairs of clean animals and 1 pair of unclean animals. This difference raises questions about the specific instructions given to Noah. The last words of Jesus. The accounts of Jesus' last words on the cross differ between the Gospels. For example, in Matthew 27:46 and Mark 15:34, Jesus cries out, my God, why hast thou forsaken me?" While in Luke 23:46, he says, "Father, into thy hands I commend my spirit." These variations in the reported last words of Jesus raise questions about the precise wording and meaning of his final moments. It's important to remember that these apparent contradictions have been the subject of theological discussions, interpretations, and harmonization attempts throughout history. Different religious traditions and scholars approach these issues from various perspectives, aiming to provide explanations that reconcile apparent contradictions within their respective frameworks. Thank you for watching. We hope you enjoyed this video. If you found it informative and engaging, please give it a thumbs up and consider subscribing to our channel for more captivating content. Don't forget to hit the notification bell to stay updated on our latest videos. We appreciate your support and look forward to seeing you again soon. Thanks for watching.